Hey guys, another video for our how-to playlist. This one's about harmony in Japan. Probably one of the most important things for Japanese people is maintaining harmony with everybody around them. So by that I mean that any sort of negativity at all, they are very sensitive to. So in Western culture or in other cultures, often it's okay to show emotions about things. Even negative ones is okay. You know, if you're with your friends and you have a bit of a complaint about something or not happy about something and you express it, friends go, oh, it'll be okay, don't worry about it, and it doesn't really affect the other people around us too much unless it's too extreme. And that's sort of accepted in many other cultures, but in Japanese culture they're very, very sensitive to it. So, you know, if you show any negative emotions, and as you would have seen in my other how-to videos, it's easy to have negative feelings in Japan. It's easy to get frustrated about things that we can't do, or frustrated because, you know, we want to do things that aren't being done at the time, that, you know, we're part of a group and the group are all doing something and we don't want to do it, or, you know, there's many times in Japan where we can get very frustrated, and any sort of negative display of emotion at all will make the people around us feel really, really bad. So it requires a lot of discipline, a lot of self-discipline to maintain a happy, you know, disposition, and that's really what we have to do. We have to, you know, they want to see that we're happy, so they want to see us smiling and happy and everything's great. And if they ask you how's it going or what's happening, everything's great. And it's really important, even if it's something that's not necessarily directly involving the people that you're talking to or the people that you're with, they still want to know that it's great. And you'll find this, if you tell people, you know, if they ask you how's Japan, you say, oh, I love it, it's great, everything's great. They go, oh, thank you. And that's how personally they take it, you know, is that to them, if you're enjoying being there and everything's okay, they're happy. If you complain or if you show any sort of negative emotion at all, and this is difficult, you know, I've made mistakes with this one before where I've been frustrated with something or unhappy about something, and I've let it out and it brings everybody down and it's really bad. So we really have to avoid doing it, and particularly if you're here as a guest of anybody, because they'll feel really responsible for your happiness and they'll be wanting to see that you're happy all the time. So it's difficult, it really is difficult. It's one of the hardest things for foreigners to do in Japan, is to maintain that happy disposition, but it's really important. And to go with the flow, like I've said in the other how-to videos, you know, about, you know, going with whatever's happening and just being agreeable about it and positive about it. And because you'll see Japanese people, you know, in the odd occasion that someone does show any sort of negative emotion, they pretty much ignore it and pretend it didn't happen, because they recognize, you know, Western culture, someone will say something, someone will respond to it, and it'll escalate into an argument. Japanese culture, they tend not to let that happen. So on the odd occasion some old guy does make a negative comment, or, you know, somebody does say or do something that's a little bit negative, the others will just let it slide like it never happened, because they don't want it to escalate, they don't want it to spread. They talk about pebble in a pond. If you throw a pebble into a pond, the ripples expand out, and they say that, you know, any sort of behaviour like that, you throw a pebble in a pond, that ripple spreads out. And I mean, you can see that in other cultures, you know, where you get people being rude to each other and you end up with a really rude culture, and that they're really aware of that. So if someone does throw a pebble in the pond, the others tend to try and ignore it, but it does affect them. And if you do it, if you do show any sort of negative emotion here, it will make them feel bad, and if they have a choice, they won't spend any more time with you, because they don't want to be around that sort of negativity. So, you know, and I'm not talking about super negativity like we might imagine in our cultures. I'm talking about anything. You know, how's the food? You know, they're just giving you something raw to eat. How's the food? It's great, thanks. You know, and even that it might not be your favourite thing, even if you might hate it, you just can't show it. You know, you just can't show it. So it requires a lot of discipline, and occasionally here people will do and say things that aren't part of our own cultures, so it'll be hard for us to take, and we just have to smile and take it. you know, and you would have seen this in the other how-to videos. There's a lot of stuff here that happens that isn't natural for Westerners. You know, girls telling other girls that their boyfriends are cool. Geez, your boyfriend's really cool. You know, guys, Japanese guys telling us that our girlfriends are really cute. Oh, your girlfriend's really cute. You know, it's endless. There's tons of stuff like that. But for us is like, oh, but we just have to smile. Well, thank you, you know. So, yeah, so if you come to Japan, just be really careful not to show any negative emotion, and just think about other people. I mean, this is what these guys do, you know, and we just have to think about other people, other people's happiness, and just not show any sort of negativity, any sort of anything at all that's going to risk making anybody else feel bad. So you just have to have a mindset like you're hanging out with your most sensitive friends or something. so anyway, I hope that helps, and we'll have more how-to videos coming soon.